Alright guys, I'm back continuing the work on the VTX 1300 clutch. So what I had to do is I actually had to put the clutch back together because I had the bike in neutral. And so this thing was freely spinning like crazy. So I put the clutch back on and got it up into 5th gear. The other tip that I read online is to apply the brake at the same time, which will keep this from spinning. And went out and got my 32mm socket to get the center clutch nut off. So we're going to see how this goes. And also, like I showed in the other video, this is actually the oil pump. So this is the oil pump drive socket and the chain, and it's very loose, so I'm going to go ahead and order a new one, but that's going to require me to basically tear this whole thing down. So fortunately this nut and this nut are the same nuts, so I'm going to order 2 of those to replace both of those since they're one-time use. So wish me luck. Hopefully I don't break anything else, and here we go. Alright folks, sorry about that. I went to take a break, came back out to record some more, realized my memory was full, so there you go. So you guys missed basically everything. I think the video cut off where I was taking the center clutch nut off with my impact tool. Got that off. There's a couple washers that came off. Then the whole assembly itself came off. Actually, take that back. We had the basket itself was on there. Center clutch was on there, and a couple more washers. So got the nut off, got the 2 washers out, center clutch basket, or center clutch comes out. And I was explaining that the rubbers, 3 of the 4 rubber sets are broken. So I'm going to be replacing those anyway. As you can see, they were just sitting there. So I'm going to be replacing those. I'll have those ordered. So that just sits out like so. You got your plate, and there's basically nothing there. That's just pressed in there. So keep that together. And then the basket itself slides right off. I was checking this is the actual needle bearing, and I can hear it. I don't know if it's easy to pick up on, but I'm going to go ahead and change it anyway. It actually feels pretty smooth for the most part, but I'm going to go ahead and change it. So that piece is going to come out. This is the guide, and we're supposed to check the inside diameter, make sure it's within its service limit. So I'm going to do that. So when I took the brake, before I took the brake, I took the nut off of the bolt off of the oil pump socket, and I went ahead and used the air impact driver to go ahead and take that same nut off, which both of these nuts are exactly the same size of 32mm, and they're both what they call staked to the get my rag here so I don't wipe off my fingers. They are staked to the spindles. All that means is There is basically a piece that has been machined in. It's a real thin piece of metal that's been machined in on the outside of this nut. There is a groove here. So when this nut gets reinstalled, basically what you do is it should theoretically tighten up at the same spot, and then all you do is you just take a punch, tap it down, and that puts that piece down into that groove so that it can't back itself out or unscrew itself. So anyway, I've got two. I'm going to order two of these. They're both the same nut. They both do the same thing, and they're supposedly one-time use, although I think if I screwed it back on, I could probably pop that thing back down and it would be fine. But I'm not going to chance it. These things are pretty cheap, so I'm going to go ahead and get replacements for both of those. So anyway, when I took the break, it was because I've got everything ready to go and boom, I can't take the driven gear off. And it's because I didn't have my manual and I wasn't paying attention to the steps, and you're actually supposed to take this off first. So I'm going to use my handy dandy gear tool, which Honda wants to sell you probably for 20 or 30 bucks. There's my gear tool. I'm just going to put that right in between the gears. I'm going to get my socket. Alright, back with the 17. Got my handy dandy gear tool to hold that. And then it's just a matter of breaking this thing, maybe. Might have to use the old impact, which I'm going to have to do. Yeah, that sucker's on there good. Sometimes muscle power is better than air power. And now I can hear myself. Yeah, we got some oil coming out here. That's a good thing. Alright, bolt is out. So that just comes out there with the washer. Clean up some of this oil. Alright, now hopefully this thing will come out. I don't know if there's any other pieces to come out. Let's see what happens. Get my handy dandy tool out. There we go. Whole thing comes out as a set, which is what they said to do. Basically, take the whole thing off. Maybe. Go ahead and take this piece out. I got that caught in there pretty good, so the whole thing's just gonna have to come out as a piece. But that's alright. Alright, that gives me enough clearance. Alright. Those pieces off. will be the new chain. Obviously that's a little stretched, so we'll get a new chain for that. Set that down there. That's nice and tight. There's the, I'm assuming that is the cam chain. So that all looks good. Alright, so now I'm just waiting on parts to come in. Once the parts come in, I'll be back to assembling, and then I'll have all my cooling system stuff, which that's the whole reason I started tearing into the bike anyway. If you guys remember, I've got a coolant leak that I just decided to go all in and change out all of the hoses, clamps, and I'm going to go ahead and put a new water pump on. I have the new clutch. I'm not going to worry about the oil pump. That's more involved. Everything on the other side of this is splitting the case open, and I'm not going to do that because that requires taking the motor out. Although at this point I'm tempted to yank the motor out and just go through the whole thing. Maybe sneak in a aft performance kit like Mr. Riddle. So anyway, hope this has been informative. At least you can see what the clutch insides look like. If you haven't seen those before, I haven't until just now, other than pictures, but I haven't seen one in person. I did help a gentleman replace his clutch plates, but we never got into taking all the rest of this stuff off. So anyway, hope that's been helpful. You guys take it easy.